You're watching ABC 3340. Now from Studio D, this is Talk of Alabama.
It is December 1st, and it's a historic day, especially in Alabama. It's the day Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a Montgomery bus in 1955, and we know that moment fueled the fire of the civil rights movement. Celebrity historian Raffi Andonian joining us now with some key details about that day. Raffi, thank you for being here.
Thank you. What a wonderful anniversary day to be here.
Certainly, and in Alabama as well, too. This is just a few hours away is where this all happened. And tell us, what did that do for the civil rights movement when Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat?
It propelled it into the national spotlight. It started as a one-day movement, which was just a one-day boycott with Sarah Robinson, and what she did, or excuse me, Joanne Robinson, and what she did is publish a lot of pamphlets that went throughout the city to almost 40,000 black bus riders in Montgomery to try to get them together on a boycott. Well, that boycott went from 1 day to 1 year, went to the U.S. Supreme Court, made it a national thing. The whole world actually started to watch at some point because it went from that 1 day to the full 1 year, and Joanne Robinson was behind that, publishing pamphlets, organizing carpools, all kinds of things right here in Alabama. Put the civil rights movement, which was just after the Brown versus Board education decision just a year prior, into the national spotlight.
And really propelled also to Rosa Parks too. She became this image. I mean, every school child learns about Rosa Parks. Why was she chosen? Why was this moment chosen to really be the mascot at the time of the civil rights movement?
Well, a lot of times people think of Rosa Parks, they think, in historical memory that she just one day was tired and didn't get up. But that's actually not true. She's a real person that has a history herself at that point of having resistance to this system. So the NAACP, which she was a part of, the local NAACP, and she was actually a secretary of the NAACP, what happened was that they wanted a test case. And just earlier in the year, in 1955, in that test case, were looking for a test case. The first person was 15 years old and pregnant, so it wasn't exactly the image they wanted because they knew it might get some attention. Rosa Parks, seamstress, squeaky clean image, a little older, was a little bit better face for something like this. So when she did that, it was why she was chosen as a test case with the NAACP and other organizations that came behind it. So this was planned in advance. Now, Rosa Parks herself had a history as well, again, not just with the NAACP. She had just gone a few months prior to the Highlander Folk School in Tennessee, and she had just taken a workshop or a seminar on desegregation, or how to implement integration. And so she, again, had this history, and she even had in the local bus system a protest, a different version of a protest herself that didn't blow up into this bigger event 12 years prior. So, in other words, she had this history. The NAACP was looking for a test case, and this all came together in 1955 right here in Alabama.
And it's so interesting to think about how much came from that moment, too. And you think about, we were talking in the break just about history. A lot of people may not be interested in history. They think it's boring. But it's the stories of people just like you and I, just like everyone at home, with their own thoughts, dreams, emotions, and what they do in these pivotal moments that can make history. So you think about Rosa Parks. Yes, she was not just, somebody said, I don't want to get up. She was doing this on purpose.
She was. And see, what I brought here today is this mug with taking a stand, right? What this is from the National History Day events that were taking place a few years ago in 2017. Every year it takes place, but in 2017, taking a stand was the theme. And National History Day is like the science fair for history. Kids, middle and high school kids, go on to do history projects. Well, this Rosa Parks event was, of course, a big deal. One of the big ones that was studied, goes from state to national competition. And with taking a stand, that reminds us that, again, as you point out, these are real people with real stories taking a stand and feeling the emotions that you might feel when you take a stand for your own beliefs.
Certainly, and those lessons that we can learn from people as well, and how important some of these causes are. You have a very special coin with you too today, and this is particular to Birmingham.
It is. So it's not just about Alabama, but specific to Birmingham. Is such an important civil rights center. And on the coin, created by the U.S. Mint, it's a bronze coin, commemorative, is the 16th Street Baptist Church, which was, of course, bombed in 1963 during the Civil Rights Movement by a group of KKK members, and it killed 4 little girls right here in Birmingham. Now, across the street today is the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, which is not just a local leader, but nationally one of the best places you could go to learn about civil rights history. right there across the street. So today, Birmingham is the center for learning about this entire movement that started right here in Alabama and spread nationwide. You can even check out the Birmingham Civil Rights National Monument, which is a National Park Service system site. It ties together multiple sites throughout Birmingham, and these are the ways that you can learn more by visiting places and making it come alive. It's not just reading stuff, which is also important, but going right here locally and making it come alive by walking around, seeing and feeling these places, and going into a wonderful institute and even the church itself.
Certainly, yeah, and I think those of us who live around Birmingham, even, you know, an hour or so away, what a quick trip to be able to experience that history, learn more about it, and learn about our state's history as well as our country's history too. So a valuable thing to do, a worthy thing to do, and why not do it today on Rosa Parks Day? Certainly.
Exactly, and it's something to remember about Birmingham and the center of the civil rights movement. One more thing about Birmingham is really valuable.
Yeah.
Martin Luther King emerged as one of the leaders' movements because he was in Montgomery with the church, and Ralph Abernathy and Martin Luther King came together with the Montgomery Improvement Association and created and propelled the movement to continue a year beyond that one-day boycott. And the reason I bring that up because MLK, when he years later came to Birmingham, ended up being jailed, wrote the letter from a Birmingham jail, which remains to this day one of the key documents of the civil rights movement and beyond for the doctrine of civil disobedience, which is a philosophy that some people still follow today all over the world when doing protests. And that's the influence of the civil rights movement and Birmingham and Martin Luther King from right here.
Certainly, yeah, Birmingham was the place, and if you haven't read his letter from a Birmingham jail, you certainly should. It's worth a read, certainly.
Absolutely.
Raffi, thank you so much for your time this morning. So much great information. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Of course.